see if it works like that. We on live right now.
Get it.
Yep.
We on live.
Right.
So this is the kind of like first time I'm doing this, but we got a hot topic, and since we was already, these are my brothers from prison. I know these brothers from prison. What prison we was in?
We was in Sing Sing together, man.
We was in Sing Sing, and they wasn't just with me in prison. These is brothers that, like, you know, this brother taught me a lot right here. This brother taught me a lot. Like, we really fuck with each other in prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have a lot of knowledge. You want to move down just a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, move down so we see you. Yeah.
And basically, you know, we all had played a part in each other's lives as far as,
Facts.
you know, sharing information and just growing and developing as young men in the system.
Right.
And productively, you know, and just, you know, making sure that we always inform each other and keep that camaraderie.
Right. So these are my brothers for real that I know from prison. Now, how much time did you do, bro? What's your name, first of all? Let them know your name. How much time you did, you know? Where you
They
from?
call me billionaire now, you know. From Mount Vernon, you know. I did 22 years, so I happen to have a lot of experience, you know, in the system and, you know, in the criminal law field as well.
How much
Hey,
time?
my name is Abel. Did 20 years. You know, rough years, but I had these brothers with me. We was with each other, and it took all of us to make it through that bit, man. All of us grew. I'm glad to see that all of us grew into who we are during the course of that bit.
Facts. Facts. So, since everybody know who you all are, let's get right to it, man. Young Thug. So I thought it was like a good idea to get y'all brothers together since we was meeting anyway, so we could do a video where we're talking about this, because I think that we can offer a lot of good information to people that might be headed that way, and also give another take on what's going on, and you know, and yeah. So Young Thug yesterday, right, was arrested.
Right.
How many people was arrested with him?
28.
28.
28 people. How many? It's 56 count indictment. 56 count indictment. 28 people. How long have they been watching them?
Since 2013, I believe.
2012.
Since 2012.
They've been. How
2012
many
to
years is that? My
2022.
math ain't good. How many
That's
years
my
is that?
whole
11
time
years.
home, bro. I came home 2012.
So they've been watching
The
for more
whole
than
time
10
I
years.
came home. That's how long them boys been under the scope. That's
Now,
crazy.
from your experience, have you seen like the government take that like long to do an investigation?
Well, coming from a legal perspective, they normally do that when they want to tie up all loose ends, when they want a solid conviction.
Mm.
You know, and I don't want to talk on preliminary matters because we don't know, because evidence is key and it has to be substantiated. There's a lot of legal doctrine involved with, you know, the criminal aspect and law enforcement. But typically, when they take that long,
You cooked.
they cover their
Yeah,
ground.
you cooked. Pretty much, in the state, we don't have that problem because they clinch and get you right then and there. This is a federal thing. This changes the game. The feds, when they take this long to get you, bro, they done crossed all their T's, dotted all the I's, put all the nails in the coffin, bro. Cooked. It's over.
What is a RICO?
That's when they. You want to tell them you're the
Yeah.
legal analyst on that thing.
Well,
right there.
RICO is anytime you have a conglomerate, a multitude of individuals participating in the same offense.
Mm.
And
And why is this law so like, you know, so scary?
well, because they know predominantly is contributed to blacks and the movement and gangs. You know, that's prevalent now. So anything that's involving, you know, these type of people,
Yeah.
they close in on it and they create laws to basically trap you into those
Right.
doctrines.
So the RICO, my father was knocked on the RICO.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The RICO is not a state thing; it's a federal thing. You know what I mean? And it's racketeering, extortion, I think
Conspiracy.
coercion, conspiracy,
Right,
all of that
all of
together,
that.
right? And it started out with the mafia. You know what I mean? They started out in Lower East Side in Little Italy where they did that first. And then from there they took it to Chinatown and they knocked out all the gangs that. So what the RICO is, the RICO basically makes it easier for them to just take everybody. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have, because in the state you have to have, like, you have to prove without a reasonable doubt that you did this. And with the RICO, as long as they can prove that you're a part of this criminal organization, they can nail you on anything.
That's right.
You know
All they got to do is tie you into one existing indictment.
Right. They can tie you in that you're doing criminal shit and that you're also linked in with criminal people. Right. So all we have to do is just have one conversation. They can prove that we had a conversation, and then you can also prove that I'm doing some type of crime. They're gonna tie it in. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Or even with this, see what happens with this gang thing. With a lot of these dudes.
Yeah, let's talk about the gang shit.
This gang thing, they don't realize that when you go on a public platform and consider.
By the way, he's a gang specialist.
Yeah, national gang specialist.
Right.
But when you go on a public platform and declare yourself a gang member, you're saying that you are part of an ongoing criminal organization. So it's a lot. What I see is a lot of dudes, even a lot of brothers that come home from prison, a lot of brothers that's involved with both sides as far as being, they got their flag and they also are activists and want to be on positive platforms. But see, what you do is you disqualify yourself when you say one thing out one side of your mouth, because the feds only hear that part. They don't hear I'm a credible messenger also. Or they don't hear that part. They don't recognize none of the good work that you're doing until you drop that flag.
Right.
According to the feds. You are a part of an ongoing criminal operation.
Right. So from what I gathered, the information that I gathered was that Young Thug, they got him as part of a gang, right? They got him as part of a blood gang, but this blood gang stems from New York. Like, he's tied in with New York blood set, right? Because a lot of people from New York go to Atlanta, you feel me? So now that opens up, different states. Who knows what they got, like different states and shit like that.
That means they've been on their phones since 2012.
And from an interview, Young Thug said himself on an interview, he said he was questioned what YSN is, right? Is it YSN?
I don't know what YSN stands for, but I know
is that the name of that
YSN?
Is it YSL? YSL. They asked him what YSL was. And make sure y'all correct me if it's not YSL. Make sure y'all correct me. So he said himself, once he was questioned what YSL is, he said that YSL has more than hundreds of people, right? And it's bigger than music. It's bigger than music because we started long before music. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear that statement, now that you know that he's locked up, he's fighting some shit. What does that statement say?
That's part of the evidence. To me, that tells me that that's part of the evidence that they have against you. Those statements.
I mean, to us, it may just be a statement, but looking at it from a criminal, law aspect, how do they see it? They see it as you making a testimony that you're involved in this type of setting.
Right.
So is it like a?
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said when you go in there and declare yourself as a part of an ongoing criminal investigation. That's the rule number one in what we look for. We look for to identify individual members of a street gang.
Mm-hmm. How easy is it to just put you in that, like, put the label street gang on you?
It gets 110 times easier when you admit it. When you say, this is who I am. It's 110 times easier to indict you when you say, this is who I am. And you get caught up in it. It's no question you're part of it. You already said it. You know what I'm saying? That's come dudes got to be very careful about. A lot of dudes, in my opinion, because I'm not gang affiliated and I don't know how the inner workings of these things go too much.
And I don't want brothers to get the misconception about this interview. This interview is basically premised on just
the legal aspect, and the legal ramifications of
touching on these key points, and trying to get brothers to just open their eyes up and you know, because, you know, these social media platforms, you know, present situations for individuals to jump out there. Sometimes because everyone doesn't have the legal background, they say things that can be detrimental later.
Right.
So, you know, our job is to just, you know, keep brothers informed and moving in a different direction. You know?
Right. So I see the comments, right? People are saying that, you know, the RICO, they because you made a statement that you said that the RICO is basically towards black people. You know
Not
what I'm saying?
really. Not.
No.
It's not though.
It's not.
It's not.
And like you said, it started. Like you said, with the Italians, and then it
Right.
shifted.
So take it easy on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He that's not what he
it's
meant. But
yeah, it's
no,
not.
no.
You know.
you know what I'm saying?
But,
The
you know, we
RICO,
just
the
talking
RICO
about-
law goes for everybody.
They
You know what I'm
go,
saying?
they go after criminal
You know,
organizations.
it's
Right.
It don't matter if
basically,
you. It don't matter what color you are. If you're a
criminal
part of
enterprise,
this organization
basically.
right here, and we can link you to that, you're going down. We don't care if you black, white. They don't care. They don't care about that.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's anything that's considered an enterprise, an ongoing criminal enterprise. That's the technical terms, you know.
Right. So
that
now,
they-
what do you think? How do you think that this is gonna pan out? Like, what do you think is gonna go on? First of all, do you think he's gonna be able to get bail? Now, second of all, why do you think they waited all this time? Third of all, why is it now they're coming for him?
All right, let's go one by one. Why do they wait this long?
Right.
Like I said, tying up loose ends and they want the strongest evidence for the easiest conviction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to jump out there and make forecasts on legal parameters because there's so many loopholes in the legal system.
Right.
And,
Do you
know,
think there's a possibility that he could beat it? I mean, just from
I'm
your...
gonna say, when you have capital, when you have people in your corner, when you have the right attorneys, there's always so many mistakes that transpire. So of course,
Right.
you know,
Because I did some research and it said that Young Thug doesn't have any criminal past. Like, he's never been convicted of anything. And he's been in the streets. They've been saying that he's been active in the street. He's been arrested for shit. He got arrested for Lil Wayne. They shot at Lil Wayne's tour bus. You know what I'm saying? He was arrested for that, but he didn't get found guilty for it. But one of his people got found guilty for it, went upstate, did prison time for it, and now he got caught up. He's out, and he got caught up in this indictment as well. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
terrible, man.
So what is that? Why do you think they waited? I mean, they waited this long. Do you think that? No, you already answered that. But because he hasn't taken, he hasn't been arrested before.
Right.
He's been pretty clean about that. Like pretty, on point with that.
Let me ask you: do you think the victims or the family victims care if he never caught arrested before?
I mean, no, they don't care about that.
Nah.
No, but what I'm saying is,
you think the jury gonna care?
the jury don't care at all. But what I'm saying is, do you think because he didn't get arrested all these times, do you think that he kind of dotted his I's and crossed his T's?
I mean, that goes to
That could be that he was careful. I don't know.
I mean, that goes to his defense. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Anything that you can use towards your defense to show a
Well,
different.
if you got a
light.
skilled district attorney, they could use that as an attack too. The reason why you didn't go because you sent somebody else.
I mean, that's their job.
They could do that too.
Right.
And that's basically what a district attorney is going to do. The district attorney is going to try to find a way to turn all the good points that the legal aid or the lawyer, the defense lawyer has, and try to turn them to his best advantage.
Right.
So when you say that you never got caught while you never got caught or arrested or anything, you also said that you was a part of this thing since before music.
Right.
Well, this is
What were you doing then? Was anybody with you going to jail? Why? You didn't go.
Right.
This is how the district attorney come at you.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Because you the leader. You the boss.
I'm
And they coming at him like the leader.
Right.
They got
You the
him
boss.
on the
That's
top
I haven't even been seeing
of the
none of this.
food
But
chain.
I don't even follow. But I'm because we came to talk about it. I looked at a little bit of it. But I do know I've been in courtrooms. I sat in that seat. I got pressed by district attorneys. I've been in the bullpen. I got pressed to rat on my homies. I did all that.
How do you feel when you're put in a position? How do you think they feel right now in their position. 26 of them locked up. I think 26 or
28.
28 of them locked up, right? 28 got them all, right? And now they pressing you because best believe this whole time while the internet was going nuts, the fucking prosecution they pressing them right now. Like the officers pressing them right now, and everything they say right now, they caught them early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Come, boom, boom, catch them while they off guard. They put the camera on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel? How do you feel? Like, what are they going through right now? And what's the chances of the 28 of them telling on each other?
Well, let me just say this. This is from a legal perspective, and this is equally important as what we're speaking about. This is a premature situation, which is we all know. So, until the actual evidence comes out,
right?
Technically, we can't really forecast exactly what the prosecution's, the weight of the evidence, because that's what's going to be the main factors in contributing to a conviction, you know, legally, you know. So I just want to, you know, get that out there.
Definitely, my opinion is of my own opinion. This is definitely not coming from anywhere.
We don't
have any insight of this thing. Like I said, I don't even follow these dudes. I don't even know the story of what's probably been going on.
But you just know the facts.
2012. But I do know the facts, and I do know that it don't look good when the feds do it like this right here. You know what I mean? I got a lot of homies that's locked up right now in the feds. My boy Turk.
Right.
Yeah, shout out to Turk. Shout out to my nigga Turk. Word up. We got a lot of homies that's locked up, man, and them boys is cooked, man.
So what do you think? Do you think that they're gonna? Do you think that what's the possibility of all 28 of them not saying nothing?
Son, that's a very slim chance in my experience. Going through the system, I've been going to prison since the 80s, man. And
so all right, so from the 80s to now, what generation kept it more solid in terms of what you saw, your experience?
Yeah.
What generation kept it more solid in terms of not telling, or is it the same?
School.
Or is it the same?
The old school kept it more solid, but it was always rats. It ain't like these rats is new rats. It was always rats, but it was consequences and penalties from rats.
So now you think it's more
acceptable. You know what I mean? It seems like as soon as somebody with some money or somebody that got a lot of fame, as soon as they ratting is cool now because whoever you idol rat.
That's interesting.
So it seems like that's what's going on right now. And like I came home 2012 and the whole world changed to me. It seems like I see a lot of motherfuckers, pardon my French, but I see a lot of dudes, man, talking about they big homies and shooters and they could send dudes to go do that and third. But son, before I left, y'all niggas was quiet. Y'all was here when I was here. Y'all wasn't shooters. You wasn't even coming outside. Now you were shooting them. Now you can send somebody else's son to go throw his life away.
And they not doing it themselves. They didn't do it when they had the opportunity.
When it was time for that, you was quiet.
Right.
Back in them days back there, it was time for that. It was a time for that. These ain't the times for that now, man. I went through that to grow, to get someplace different.
So y'all think that it's gonna be a very high probability that they're gonna tell on each other. I mean, a very high probability that somebody's gonna tell.
Yeah, I think somebody gonna tell.
Just look at the facts again from a legal standpoint. We know that when you deal with federal level of the tier of law, you know that they base their system on cooperation.
So they already had. Go ahead, tell it. I'm gonna let you.
Right.
So what you getting at?
They have some information already.
These are just the facts of how history provides the legal system to move in.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we can presume.
Somebody made a deal.
Just say it, man. Right. Presume what?
That is going to be some talking going on.
Presuming that there's already talking going on.
Yeah.
Right.
We could safely say that may be the case.
Right.
That somebody may have already provided some.
How does this happen though? How do people start talking before the case even starts?
Niggas wear wires,
before people even start. Before people even start getting arrested.
Niggas wear wires, bro.
Wiretaps too.
Niggas been wearing wires. That ain't on TV.
So how does that happen? Explain to me, like how
somebody get approached. Somebody in the crew get approached.
Doing something.
You got caught with something.
You did something. You did something.
Somebody approached you. Listen, we can make that go away.
Just bring me in here.
Nah, he just with his wife.
Yeah.
We ain't even gonna holler about that till about 2 years from now.
Or if that's not
That's
the case,
possible how
we
that
can't-
can happen
we
because
can't
these
alleviate,
niggas is incredible out here.
wiretaps either.
Wiretaps.
The wiretaps,
That's
they
very-
definitely on your
that's
phone.
prevalent.
All right.
Phones.
So out of wiretaps and out of you got wiretaps, right?
Niggas
you
wearing
got
tap,
people
niggas
wearing
wearing
wires.
wires.
You got informants that's giving information, and the fourth one that we're not too familiar with, but in our experience, but now we know the motherfucking what?
Internet.
The internet.
Internet.
So we have about
nigga.
4 entities
Niggas
of
Yo, hold on, but let's talk about the last one. Let's
The
talk about the
internet.
internet. Let's talk about the internet. How out of those 4, how strong is the internet
Right
in
now,
terms of bringing evidence and
it's cooking you. You finish. It's crazy when your posts
how can they
become
use
your
the internet?
minutes.
How can they
How do
use
your
the internet?
posts from Instagram, your posts from Facebook become your minutes in court?
How does that
That's
happen?
your minutes now.
How can somebody how can they use the internet on building a case? I mean, it's obvious, but I would like, you guys to kind of put some light into it.
Yeah, well, the internet has become a platform for, just say, confirmation for a case. So whatever you've stated previously on these platforms,
Or not even state.
or
You could just take a picture with somebody, and somebody could be right here, not even taking the picture with you, but in behind the picture, like just standing there,
Right.
not
That's-
even knowing you
and they-
taking the picture.
and they
but
pulling you in on the
but he
RICO.
got a whole case
You got a
going on. You
question.
could just prove that you are in the vicinity of these people,
facts.
I
right?
can get you pulled in and questioned and all that and locked up for a while till you gotta disprove that shit.
Right.
I don't even know this dude, man.
Right. But they'll put it in
But
right
you
there.
going
Look,
down.
they'll just use this picture. Look, you was there with him.
Yeah.
I mean, you was over there with him.
That's enough to get you
Right, that's
questioned.
enough to get you questioned, right?
And you in the bullpen.
How else? What else? Like, all right, people posting money, people talking shit, like people you follow.
All of
what
those
else?
things,
All
man.
of that
Your
goes to
interest.
the weight of the evidence, all of that, these different factors that they include in the case. It all goes to the weight, because like I said previously, in these cases, it's all about the weight shifting toward a conviction. So
I think these things would be so strong because of internal revenue. You know what I'm saying? You posting with $1 million worth of jewelry on, bro. We want to know where that came from.
So you saying internal revenue?
Internal revenue is on you as far as how this whole case get built up on you. Because you remember, ever since Al Capone, internal revenue is intricately involved in law and RICO to prove where did this money come from. So these dudes, now you're part of an ongoing criminal organization. You got $1 million worth of jewelry on, and you talking about killing people and all kinds of crazy shit. This is your case. This is a whole case. You gave him a whole case. Don't get caught with no guns in your pictures too. Now you got guns on Instagram.
Right.
You got guns in your hand too. You giving them a whole case.
People
That's
use a
everything.
gun to shoot somebody or rob somebody and put the same gun in their video. What do you have to say to people that's watching this that haven't been through what you've been through, right? But are watching this and watching other shit that's going on? What do you say about the internet? Like what type of like advice would you give somebody while using the internet and in the street at the same time?
You got something for that?
That's using the internet.
If you in the streets, what advice would you give them towards using the internet?
Monitor yourself. Understand what you're doing and understand that everything is not for that platform.
Right.
But you have to understand that, these things can be used. So monitoring yourself is one of the best premises that you can go
Right.
by.
Right. In my experience, man, if you're already in the streets, it's some shit you should already know. This is snitching. This is telling on your own self. When you post something and publicly put it out to the world, something of a criminal nature, anything of a criminal nature, you do not share that with the public unless you're not afraid of getting indicted.
Right.
Because this is an indictment.
Yo.
Understand what you're doing, youngin. For me, my advice to anybody using these social platforms, if you're not putting nothing up there that's positive and that can help somebody grow and help the people get where we need to be, man, don't put nothing up there.
But it's hard when people are blowing up off of the same shit that they're getting
that's the
convicted
culture.
for.
That's the culture.
They're blowing up off of the same shit that they're getting convicted for.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a trap. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, in one hand, a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, how do I go viral? How do I do this? The more I post about my gang, the more I post about the money I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? The more I
those
post
are the
about
things that
the
get me
fly,
likes.
the more I post about fly clothes, the more I post about having beef, spinning the block. Oh shit! Don't you have beef with somebody, and you start posting about it? Oh no, your likes and your views is gonna skyrocket. You might get you might get a record deal off of that shit. You might. So what do you say to these people that are seeing this shit? And it's like, well, that's the only way I could get lit.
Man, listen, I understand it's not just you. I understand it's the culture. It's the narrative that need to change. It ain't just you. It's not just one individual. It's the way our people think and the things that we gravitate towards as a people. That, you know what I'm saying, this is a part of our culture. This is something that should, anything that's a culture, your life, your way of life is something that you should be proud to pass down to your kids. How many of y'all out there want to see your little sister or your little niece or somebody's little daughter get jumped in? You want to take a part of that? 4 or 5 dudes raping your daughter, your niece, just to be in a gang.
Mm.
You want to take part in that? Or what kind of man want to stand there and witness that?
Mm.
What kind of man is you? Because this ain't the kind of men that we raised up when we was in prison. We raised ourselves to be better than that, to be better than want to even be in a room with that kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? It's dudes that, you know what I'm saying, choose a different way of life, not out of fear, not because we scared of thugging and bugging. Did that already.
Right.
We did that.
And you saw that it was a trap.
That's a trap, bro.
Because you was young before.
I was young before.
You was young before.
And I was right out here
I
in
was
Mount
young
Vernon.
before. Was you a part of that trap? Was you a part of that
I
trap?
was a sucker in that trap.
I was a part of the unknowing.
I was a part of the trap. I got fucking...
How trapped were you?
I got played. I was all the way in. I accepted the fact that I was going to die violently in the street. I accepted that. Because that's how I lived.
But now when you look back at it,
I was a goddamn fool. A fool to accept the fact that you're going to die violently in it. Know what my biggest fear was? To die in these streets and not bust a shot back. Without my gun. Not to be able to bust back. To die without busting back is my biggest fear. And that's foolish. That's fucking foolish. That's a dead man's way of thinking.
do you think
You're
that
dead
what you
already.
went through at that time is different than what these young kids are going through right now?
I think it is different. I think everything is different. It's different circumstances. Even with these youth that I come into contact with that's involved with the gang life, one thing I can say about this generation, they touch a lot more money than we did. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more bread on the table, but it seems like the gang coaches, at least the minions, the ones that's on the streets thugging and bugging for no reason, are not getting a part of that. Are not being a part of the money that the other dudes, the shot callers, are getting a part of because the minions wasn't supposed to get a part. Yeah, this the trap y'all in. Y'all ain't supposed. Y'all get the charge though. You get the charge. You'll get a RICO charge, and they'll treat you just like you getting some of that money they getting. But you're not. But you're in a cell right next to them.
And you can't even get a lawyer right
You
now.
can't get a lawyer. That's another part of this culture I don't understand. These dudes don't take care of their own, bro. Dude, you go to jail for your homie defending your flag or whatever. 2 months later, the homie trying to holler at your girl. Homie watch your mom struggling up the stairs with the groceries, don't even help her. This culture different. We wasn't like that. And nothing that ever happened that'll make me holler at one of my homie girls. Nothing. I don't care if you ain't even fucking with her no more. That's your girl. You love her, nigga. And I love you, nigga. I ain't gonna do that. This culture different.
It's different.
Yeah.
So like I posted, and I hope, you know, just in case if anybody watching Wallow Gilly, excuse me, $1 million worth of game, I posted a clip of $1 million worth of game, not so I could like, you know, get views off of it, but because the message was deep, and he was saying it to Young Thug. He was saying it to Young Thug. He told Young Thug, "It's gonna be lonely in prison." You know what I'm saying? He told Young Thug that, yo, y'all in the industry, y'all making, and it's not like Young Thug was a failing artist. Young Thug is one of the top artists right now. He just had a hit. Like everything they dropping is hits. Young Thug, Gunna, that whole team, they making hits, like hits. But they still in the streets, right? They still
It's
doing
crazy.
shit.
This is the trap. You have, in order for you to remain relevant, you have to still do ignorance once.
Wow.
It's crazy. This is crazy. In order to remain relevant.
So you're telling me that Young Thug got caught up because one of the reasons is because he had to stay relevant by doing what he was doing?
That's a fact. Because if you take away what you're doing and all that negativity, your likes drop. Your album sales drop. So now, what do? I gotta do something. I gotta keep my shit popping.
Yeah, but I
my
don't
name
think,
gotta keep popping.
But what do you think about that? Do you think Young Thug partook in like the social media shit?
I'm not speaking about Young Thug himself
se, yeah.
personally, because I don't, like I said, I didn't follow. I don't really know. But I'm just saying, this seems to me to be the direction that the generation is going in.
Even if it's not him.
Even if it's not him
per se. It's just something that's a part of the trap
it's
right
crazy.
now.
In order for you to remain relevant, you gotta be in, you may have to have a case. You gotta have a body. You gotta be,
and even if it's not him, it could be people around him.
Somebody you're affiliated with.
Right.
The gang you in gotta be on the top or whatever. And it's madness to me. That's madness,
I
man.
think that's just the direction of the way the hip hop culture went in.
The internet.
Yeah, so that's just what it is if you're an artist, you know, at this point. But you have other artists that's has capitalized off not being in that.
Yeah.
In that, like, you know,
I'm
Drake,
sure,
Kanye, shit like that. But for you know, in totality, it would be, you know, a high percentage of, you know.
I'm only speaking to the general.
So if this is a trap, well, I'm not even gonna talk about that. Let's not even talk about that because this money, we're not trying to make it nothing else. So look, all right. So Young Thug, bro, when I say he just came, he's making hits. Like everything he touching is hits. Like he's really making hits, bro. He's the top. I've never really seen this. Right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. What time?
I'm going
right now?
Not now, I know.
All right, we got like 15 more minutes?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, Young Thug right now, he's a huge artist, right? Super huge artist, right? What do you think is going through his mind right now?
Probably the ramifications, you know, how is he gonna...
Do you think he was expecting this? Do you think he was comfortable?
Hell no. Nobody expecting this.
You wasn't expecting any indictments or anything like that. That was always a possibility, obviously, being in the field. But he probably, you know, thinking right now, you know, just how can he get out of this? You know, just lawyering up and just going through the preliminaries, because that's what we all do.
How stressful is this period right now?
We all went through it.
How stressful is this period?
This is like on some of the most, because you just was in the streets doing what you wanted to do. Now you're taken out of that element and someone else is running your life. So we all went through that, and that's like...
I sure wish I could have seen him when he came in that bullpen. I want to know what you did. When you came in the first time you walked in that bullpen, when they clapped you up.
Did you see the video of them taking him out the house?
Yeah.
Did you see what he had on?
I didn't see it.
Yo, you didn't see it?
What he had on?
Did you see it?
Yeah, tell him what he had on.
He had on Speedos, like straight underwear or fucking like the tight joints with a tank top. They didn't even let that man put on pants,
That's
bro.
That's embarrassing, bro. That's how they do you too.
Or do you think that he just said, you know what, I'll go out like this?
Nah, nobody want to go out like that,
I believe
man.
They were scared, so they didn't want him to move.
They didn't want him to move.
Yeah,
that's what I think. They were scared of him.
They were scared. They didn't know what he would do.
Yeah.
You know, he's a powerful subject matter.
Once you handcuffed, though, yo, you can put my pants on, man. Let me put some pants on,
But the next part after they get past the, okay, we have him in cuffs, is the humiliation. Now let's humiliate.
The walk
That's
of shame.
why they didn't.
That walk of shame.
You know, allow that after the fact when he was cuffed, because you know you don't want to do that to, you know.
But what I'm talking about, like when you go in that bullpen, you know how to tell the difference between the guilty and the innocent.
How?
In terms of like what?
You know, the guilty take a nap. They
The
hit
guilty
bullpen
take a
and
nap.
Go to sleep.
Oh, that's-
What? Yo!
That's the premise.
Yo!
Innocent on the gate. Nigga, what I'm doing in here? Get me out of here.
Facts.
Guilt take a nap.
Take a nap.
But history provides that, you know.
I done took a nap like
But
fucking.
if, you know,
You got me.
I'll see y'all when I wake up, man. I don't give a shit the fuck.
Y'all
I
niggas
don't-
got me.
that's why they broke, you know.
That's funny as hell.
You know, they got it. You know, they
That
broke
is
the
true.
criminal science to a. You know, they made it into a science. That's how they figured out guilty
Yeah.
versus innocent. What you do upon entering the bullpen.
Yo,
Upon
do you
entering-
know how fucking influential Young Thug really is to the hip hop?
Of course.
Like, bro. I'ma just.
I really don't.
You don't.
No.
Alright, cause I don't know. My bro got skinny jeans on right now. You know what I'm saying? When we was locked up, was we wearing those type of jeans?
I
Keep it a
posted
buck.
us yesterday,
No,
and I
sir.
posted our
But-
picture from Sing
What
Sing.
would we wear? What we wear?
Baggy.
Baggy as shit.
Baggy
that we
as
could-
shit. You know, Young Thug really was the first artist to start wearing skinny jeans. And I remember we was locked up, looking at this
Wow,
shit like,
nigga,
what
like,
the
nigga,
fuck?
what in the
And you
world?
could never catch me with anything like
Right.
that. Right now.
Right, that was our statement, right?
Right.
That was our. But we would.
No, I'm just saying you couldn't catch me
back
with
then.
baggy, right?
But
You know.
back then, we was saying we can never catch ourselves wearing no baggy shit.
Right.
I mean,
we
no
was-
wearing
no
no
skinny
tight
shit.
shit, no skinny shit, right? And he changed that shit, bro.
Yeah, he
Like he
changed the
really made that
dynamics
shit
of-
cool. He came out in a dress.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Nah.
Young Thug came out with a dress, and that's why I fuck with him too. Not because he wear a dress, cause I would never wear a dress, but he was strong enough to say, you know what, I'm gonna wear these tight pants when everybody's wearing these big ass. Look at Young Jeezy and fucking Gucci Mane back in the day. They was wearing big ass t-shirts, big ass pants. He was the first one to really be like, yo, I'm gonna wear tight shit, and everybody laughed at him. But then everybody followed him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he really changed the fashion of hip hop. You know what I'm
Like the
saying? The look of
direction.
hip hop. You know what I mean? And then also you be seeing he be doing a lot of like questionable like sexuality shit. You seen that?
Yeah, like you know, was considered some say metro or questionable, basically
Right.
questionable.
What's your take on that? Do you think that that's just his style, that he just does that, or do you think he partakes in it? What do you think? What's your assumption?
I mean, he's a street individual. I think he just, you know, I think that's, you know, part of what he birthed. So he's gonna ride what he birthed.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna deter from that,
Right.
you know.
And whether it's real or not, whether he goes that way or not, as just that could be just his like style.
It could
That's
be.
yeah, basically.
Now, in prison, right? You got people that partake in, you know, people will judge you if they see like that you're gay or that you live a certain type of lifestyle, you wear a certain type of clothes. People will judge you off of that and think that you soft or think that, you know what I'm saying, you're not tough or whatever, right? From experience, people like that live that lifestyle, should people be underestimating people that live that lifestyle?
Hell no, you
Nah,
better not
absolutely not,
underinvest. Don't underestimate nobody. In prison, you're gonna learn. This is a man's jail. Everybody in here is male. I don't care what they present themselves to be to you. If you violate that man or disrespect, and it's a maximum security prison too. So ain't nobody here for snatching girl style cookies and nothing like that. Everybody here for something violent, something deep, got real time. So just that man might present himself to you. I done seen some dudes prettier than Jennifer Lopez in prison. I ain't never lose sight of the fact that that's a man, bro. Never did
Hold
lose
on,
sight
so
of the
you
fact
seen
of that.
somebody that looked like a real woman,
Just like women, they got the hormone shots with titties and everything.
and they just walking around
Walking
prison
around
like,
in population. Now, New York, I done been in prison in different states. So this homo thing is not really nothing new. This gay thing is not nothing
yeah.
new.
Let's leave the homo.
I don't know the proper
Gay.
correct terminology,
gay.
and I don't mean to offend
Right.
anybody.
We don't.
And I'm cool with every kind of people. I don't really care Only time it make a difference to me, whatever you are, I don't care if you blood, crip, Muslim, if you gay, straight, it make a difference to me when you make a difference to me. If you don't never make a difference, it won't. That ain't gonna be the basis or the premise of how I look at you.
So now let's go back to, you've seen men that look like that in prison, right? Have you ever seen a person that lives that lifestyle, like on some gangster shit? Like
Hell yeah.
yeah, like how?
The knuckle check is proper.
Woo!
I know some.
So you see, hold on, you seen?
Yeah.
You seen a gay dude knuckle check?
Beat nigga down. I'm talking about looking like a professional fight. That nigga called him out his name. Call that man out his name. Woo! And I'll pay to see another one of them fights too, like that.
Yo, so because of stories like that, I think you might have been a person that told me when I first stepped in the spot, like, yo, don't argue with gay people.
Listen,
like,
we don't got no beef with them.
Yeah, don't argue with them. Even if you do, don't even say don't argue with them at all. There shouldn't be no arguments.
Because you know how it is in prison. If you do have a situation with them, and you do come out on top,
it's a win or lose.
You
It's a
can't
win-win.
win.
It's a lose-lose.
It's no winning.
It's
you
a
don't
lose-lose.
win.
If you get a scar or mark, you lost.
You
Yeah,
lost.
you wreck.
And even if you fighting them, what are you fighting them for?
Yeah, what are you fighting for?
So
What
They
you fighting
just
that
gonna be
dude
rumors.
for?
Yeah, so it's you know, it's kind of
Hey, yo, what you got? What y'all got in common,
but
man?
these
What
are
do
the
you
things-
have in common to make you have beef with
But
that?
these are the things you learn coming in the system.
Yeah.
Somebody has to pull you up and inform you, like, listen,
Yeah.
this is what you don't do.
Right.
Period. And this is what you know, and you'll start to understand certain things. That's why when we first got on, and we was telling y'all that, we came up, together, and we all, was supporting each other as far as like, the information and making sure that we was all close.
This brother gave me a lot of information. As soon as I came in the yard, this is one of the first brothers that pulled me up, gave me information, told me who not to fuck with, made sure that I was good. You know what I'm saying? He put me on to a lot of shit right here. This brother right here, Hollywood, we used to call him. You know what I'm saying? He put me on to a lot of shit. This is my road dog. When y'all on the Drink Champs show with Noriega, when Tragedy Gaddafi came in there and said my name and said no, China Mac had a studio inside Sing Sing. This was the brother that was with me. He failed to mention my brother right here. It was me and my brother right here that brought Tragedy Gaddafi into our studio that we had in prison, and it wasn't allowed. That was some shit that we fucking.
We always do the incredible.
We did the incredible.
We do the incredible.
Now, me and my brother
we did.
really did incredible
We did.
shit. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to bring these two brothers on my channel. You know what I'm saying? And talk about some real shit. Give some information that brothers will want to that might need to hear. Now, before we leave, because we're about to cut this off. If you could give some advice to somebody that's watching right now that may be in the streets, young people that's about to make choices, what would you say to them?
I would say, don't be in a rush to use these platforms to put your personal business out there. Look at what's happening, around you, and just try to make better decisions about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you're going to use social media, use it for business, use it to get ahead. And before you do that, learn business and learn how to get ahead so that you're not doing anything and the mistakes, we all going to make mistakes, but we don't want to keep making the very same mistake. And to avoid that, information is power. Learn and educate yourself.
I see some people saying, is this Hollywood? Yes, this is Hollywood. This is definitely my bro Hollywood. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say, if we're just talking about social media right now, I would say if you in the streets, don't be on social media at all.
Why would you?
Don't be on social media at all. Gangsters, when I was coming up, gangsters didn't take pictures. When I was coming up, gangsters did not take pictures. If you have a camera, we taking that camera from you. You're not taking no pictures. Now, of course, that would be, a little
Can't do it
difficult.
now.
A little difficult nowadays, but you don't want to make it easy for them to make a case on you. Your job as a criminal, your job as somebody that's on the streets is to make the job less easier for you to get caught. You don't want to make it easier for you to get caught. You know what I'm saying? The name of the game is to get yours and get out, not get yours and go in. That's not the name of the game. So everybody that's in the streets, my youngins, first of all, the streets is the streets is dead. The streets is dead.
Don't contribute to your own demise.
The streets is dead. It's a trap. It's a trap. Now, if you still want to take that gamble, you know what I'm saying, and be in that trap, don't make it easier for you to get caught in the trap. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said,
yeah, and I was gonna say something the brother told me. My brother Ruler, shout out to him too. He always tell me, like, you know, put on these platforms what you want them to know, what you want the authorities to know. That's what you put on there. So if you want them to see that,
Always think like that when you post.
and you won't go wrong. This
Always
is what I
think
want
like
them
the
to know.
cops is watching.
And you know, you won't go wrong with that.
all right, man. With that being said, thank you guys for pulling up. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
homie,
Thank you
anytime.
guys for pulling up. Where can they find you on Instagram? What's your Instagram?
I'm on billionaire._.
Billionaire, spelled billionaire.
BILLION 2 A's IRE._.
Okay, and my brother,
Mr. Macklin,
Mr. How you spell it?
MACLIN.
MACLIN. So just
L-I-
MR Macklin or
Yeah.
MR Macklin.
Bottom slash.
MR under. We gotta get
Underscore.
him.
Slash. I ain't technologically advanced or nothing, brother.
Yo, with that being said, yo, listen, in the comments below, let me know if you want to see me doing this more often, just pulling up on some people and just having conversations about what's going on, topics and shit. Let me know if I need to do this more often or if y'all can live without it. With that being said, I see y'all on the next whatever. We out.
Mac
Bye.
Talk.